So welcome everybody. We're just going to wait another moment or two here as we allow last few registrants to arrive, and then we'll get started in a moment.
Morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, Chloe, we'll actually ask you to mute your microphone for the presentation today. Yeah, you seem to be coming through. I think we can get started with the content for today. So good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Shields. I'm with Business Link, and I would like to thank you all for joining us this morning. At Business Link, we take pride in providing great services to all entrepreneurs, and we are honored to provide specialty services to our immigrant populations and to Indigenous entrepreneurs and Indigenous communities. We're always actively inclusive in our cultural understanding and awareness of the histories of our country. So with that, we will start this event with a land acknowledgement to recognize all of Alberta and all of you who are joining from different parts of our province. We want to acknowledge that in the province of Alberta, we are situated on the traditional territories of Treaties 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10, ancestral homeland of diverse First Nations groups, Métis, and Indigenous people whose ancestors have walked this land since time immemorial, and whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community. We pay respects to the Indigenous people of this land, past, present, and future, while recognizing their cultural heritage, beliefs, and relationship to the land on which we reside. So thank you again for joining us for our webinar today. Clinton Senkow is joining us to present on how to secure partnerships and use them to grow your business. Just to remind everybody joining us for today's webinar, please remember to keep your audio and video off during the presentation. If you would like to ask a question during the webinar, please click the chat in the meeting controls and type a message into the chat box. And we'll moderate that throughout the session. So I'll be asking your questions for you. We do encourage you to ask these questions throughout the presentation and enter them in the chat box to all participants so that we all can kind of get a look at what those questions are. The information provided in this session is for general knowledge and should not be taken as professional advice. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce our webinar presenter today, Clinton Senkow. Clinton is the co-founder and COO of Influencive, which is an online media platform that teaches and inspires millions of people around the world about entrepreneurship, success, and technology. He's the CEO of Senkow Ventures, which is a digital consultancy focused on building and growing online businesses through business development and partnerships. He's a writer for Forbes.com, a member of the Forbes Business Development Council, and also an international speaker and trainer. And he's been named a top G20 Young Entrepreneur for Canada. So Clinton, thank you very much for being here to share your knowledge with us all today. I'll hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the introduction. And I'm super excited to be with everybody here today and talk about something that is just super, I'm just so passionate about it, is having to deal with partnerships. So I'll just jump right in it here with you guys. But basically today we're going to talk about how to grow your business through partnerships and why collaborations are so important and why connections are so important as well. And hopefully at the end of this presentation, you're going to leave and see that you need to start making room in your calendar. You need to start making partnerships a real, just a key in your day-to-day for sales and marketing and for your business. Okay, so who am I? So as Mark already gave me a little bit of an introduction of myself. So I'm the co-founder CEO of Influencive, which is, as mentioned, is an online media company. Most of our content online, if you haven't checked it out before, it's influencive.com, is basically around business and entrepreneurship content. So how to build a business, how to grow your business, how to use Facebook ads, how to personal brand yourself, how to do good at public speaking. I've had the pleasure of interviewing people from Tony Hawk to Kevin O'Leary to just top entrepreneurs and celebrities and influencers, from around the world. I'm a board member of Business Link as well. I'm really excited to represent such a great brand like Business Link and help out more small and medium-sized businesses to really build and grow and go beyond, just a local business. I'm also a board member for SEDS Canada, which is a nonprofit around Canada that actually has to deal with post-secondary institutions and helping post-secondary students with space exploration. So really, really cool organization to be with. And then also I'm a writer for Forbes, a member of the Forbes Biz Dev Council. And then I'm also a member of the CMO Council. And then, I was a top G20 YA entrepreneur for Canada in 2016, where I had the opportunity of representing Canada in Beijing, China. So let's get right into it, okay? And what we're going to start off with is basically my 4-step method for securing profitable partnerships called the partnership method. And this is a method that I use myself when I'm looking for partnerships for my own business or businesses that I'm involved with or clients of mine, or when I'm teaching to others of how to use partnerships to grow their business. Okay. So with the first step is identifying. I want you to identify and use some of my strategies of how to identify partnerships, how to find the right partners. Step 2 is securing those partners. It's okay, you've identified some possibilities of people and businesses or brands that you could collaborate with. Now it's all about securing them. How can you secure them? And then step 3 is leveraging. You've secured that partnership. How can you leverage them? How can you use that to build and grow your business? More leads, more sales, more revenue. And then step 4 is all about maintaining. Today, I really want to dive deep into identifying secure. And I also want to just make sure that I set the table for you guys, that everyone's paying attention, is don't be afraid to have a piece of paper beside you or an open Google Doc or whatever it is. There's going to be a few spots here in the presentation where I'd love for you just to take a few minutes or 30 seconds, whatever it is, just the thoughts that come to your head to really write down and really start taking action right now. This isn't just, hey, this is what you should do and oh, this is great. It's no, put in the work right now. And, it's going to really benefit you and your business, hopefully, moving forward. And if there's any questions at all throughout the chat, or you want me to elaborate on something, just feel free to write it in the chat and I'll make sure to, expand on it or hopefully provide a better picture for you guys. Okay. So with step 1 is identifying. How do I identify possible partnerships? Okay. So what I like to call like the exercise for this is identifying your assets as a business, identifying the gaps, and identifying the opportunities. Okay. So when I'm talking about identifying assets, there are things that all of your businesses right now have as assets. Okay. So there could be everything from email lists. Maybe you have, say, and I'm not talking about it has to be a 10,000 person email list. Maybe you have a 500 person email list, but you have like a 50% open rate. Like, so 250 people open up your email every week or, every day that you send it. That's still really, really good. That's an asset that you have because it's a very engaged audience. And when you send something out as a business or as a brand, they want to pay attention to you or they're interested in what you're sending. Okay. So that's an asset in your business. Personal contacts. Kind of an unused asset sometimes as a business owner or as a founder and as an entrepreneur is, maybe you have these personal contacts at some other business that maybe isn't necessarily related to yours right now that you're doing. Maybe you grew up with someone's whose dad or mom or sister or brother is the CEO of some company nowadays. And if you really needed to sit down for lunch or get in contact with that person, you could, because you have that personal connection. You have that personal relationship with that person. Okay. So that is another asset that is super, super important and really valuable and leveraging for partnerships because as you should know by now, business is a relationship game and it's all about who you know, and it's all about putting yourself in the right positions to succeed. So having personal contacts is a really great asset. So I'd put that down as another one. Another asset could be your business location. So when identifying different partnerships, one that I like to say is you might be thinking, what do you mean by business location? So when I mean by business location is it could be that you have a business that is located on the corner of a very busy street that has a lot of walking traffic, that, you know, or that has a lot of, you know, daily commuters that drive by it every day. But you just have a lot of exposure. Like you could put up banners, you could host an event there, you could put up a sign, and, you know, hundreds to thousands of people might see it every day. That's an asset. So your business location is an asset because you could partner with another business that maybe doesn't have a location like yours or in a place like yours, that you're offering that in a partnership, and in turn they can offer something else. So your business location is an asset. Social following is another one. I'm not saying you have to have a massive social following, but perhaps you have you have more engagement or reach on a certain platform that your followers, your customers, your prospects are connecting with you on. So that's another asset to put. Kitchen space. I've worked with some companies in product-based companies before, and you know, they start off with creating a product at home, or it's a baked good or something. Maybe you're a restaurant right now and you're trying to find ways to generate more revenue, or to, you know, pay some of those bills. Another great way is, how could you rent out some of that kitchen space? How could you, you know, partner with another brand or another business or another person and give them opportunities, saying, hey, I have this kitchen, or I have this unused assets that are basically just sitting there, but I would love to maximize those. So that's another thing that you can use in a partnership as well. Past experience or awards. Sometimes as business owners, as entrepreneurs, if you've received accolades or something before, sometimes we aren't, especially being Canadian, we don't like to be very promotional by ourselves, right? So you know, it's always great to, when you get third-party recognition for yourself or your business, to use that as your advantage, use that as in your sales, and use that in your marketing. But also, that's an asset that you have as a business, because you know, it carries weight with it. Excess cash is another one. So lastly, maybe as a business, you've planned really, really well and you have excess cash. That's another asset that you could have, that you could use to leverage in identifying and securing you know, a type of partnership as well. So hopefully these assets make sense. Like I said, have a piece of paper, have an open Google Doc, write down some of those assets that you have as a personal business, and hopefully some of these, you know, ideas that I've given you here will spark your, you know, creative juices a little bit, and make you realize that, oh yeah, I actually do have some assets that I have that maybe I'm not really leveraging, you know, currently at the moment. So the next little exercise is identifying your gaps. So what are you missing as a business? So this is where people come to me and be like, hey, like, I've tried a partnership before, or I don't know what to look for, or I tried one and it was bad and it didn't work out. And the best way that I like to, you know, structure partnerships when it comes to business is, what are you missing? So there's got to be things that you're good at. There's got to be things that, okay, you're not the greatest at. And there's got to be opportunities that are sitting in front of you that you could start seizing, you could start going after, and you could really start tackling. So what are you missing? So maybe you have a small team, or you're the CEO, you're the owner, you're doing a lot of different things. Maybe right now you're doing all this graphic design and doing all this stuff for social media, but really you're better at being that people person who should be building connections and, you know, really spending time with your customers versus, you know, spending hours on trying to create those fancy graphics, you know, within Adobe or within another piece of software like Canva. So an area that you could be partnering with somebody on is graphic design. It could be online marketing. It could be social media growth. Maybe you're doing anything and everything in your business, and you need to realize that, okay, I'm only 50% at this, or maybe I'm only 60% at this, or I have to teach myself how to do this because, you know, I don't have enough funds to maybe pay to do this. But think of it in terms of, okay, what could you offer, say, a graphic designer or a marketing company or a consultant or a freelancer in these areas that maybe you're not the greatest in, that you're missing out on. So maybe you're really good at the financials, the operations of your business, right? But you're not the best salesperson, which is fine. You shouldn't be doing anything and everything in your business anyways. Maybe there's some sales strategy. Maybe there's some experts out there there's consultants, there's advisors, there's freelancers, there's lots of different things that you can partner with people on to help you with the sales if that's not your strong suit, right? Access to cash, maybe you're strapped for cash right now, but maybe you know of another business that, might be able to has cash available that you could leverage, that you could partner with something. If you offer them something of value and they offer you something of value and you put that together, that could make a really great win-win partnership. So maybe another thing that you're missing is maybe, hey, you're working from home, but you'd really like having a physical office space maybe once or twice a week, or getting out and getting an office somewhere just doesn't seem feasible to you right now. So there's lots of unused offices out there right now. There's lots of unused spaces out there. So what could you offer someone else that already has that space that you could go and use for, say, a day or a week? Or maybe you need a place to shoot new product photos, or maybe you need to shoot videos, or whatever it is. There's lots of really great ways to really start leveraging that. So that's another area that you could be missing. And then maybe another thing that you're missing in your business is lead generation. Maybe you're still relying on just one-to-one sales of someone walking through your door, or someone hopefully connecting with you on social media, that you have no repeatable style or process of generating leads for your business. So there's lots of lead generation software out there. There's lots of lead generation agencies and companies that will help you with your business generate more leads. So those are other great partnerships to pursue as well. But hopefully this is starting to kind of make sense as to identifying your assets as a business, identifying some of those gaps, some of those things that you're missing that I've mentioned here below. And then also looking into our next slide of what are some opportunities out there. Okay. So an exercise that I like to do when it comes to partnerships is something that I like to call identifying your top 15. And what I like to do is, there's sometimes as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we maybe don't think big enough, or we don't think that we can accomplish, something that other people have done before, when in all reality, we can believe anything that we put our mind to, and we believe that we can accomplish. So what I like to do is attempting to basically create a top 15 list. So in this top 15 list, I want you to come up with 5 companies and write them down. Companies, brands, celebrities, influencers, top people in your industry that you were like, man, like I would love to do business with them. Like it would be, maybe you have a clothing company, and that it would be like, you have a professional athlete that you're like, man, like it would be so awesome to get that professional athlete in my clothes because I know they would love it. So you could put that person as one of your top 5. Maybe there's a company or a brand that you're like, man, like if we put on an event together, or we launched a product together, like I think it would just be amazing, and it would just work. Put them up there too. So these are kind of those brands, those companies, those people that you kind of think are like untouchable, that are like really, really at the top of the top. Okay. And in your 5 companies for your middle tier, what I want you to do is I want you to pick companies that are more like your peers. So people and businesses that are, say, at similar stages as you. They're not, massive, like they're not like, okay, it's like, hey, I have a 20-person company, and your peers, maybe someone has like a 30-person company. Maybe you're on the same revenue level. Maybe you've been in business for the same amount of time. It's someone that you have a relationship, maybe you know them from an association, or a business council, or you've had some lunches and stuff with them before, but you've never really taken it to a whole other level and been like, hey, like, what if we did something together? What if we collaborated? What if we launched this? Or what if we did that? So the middle tier is more of peers, more people that you can get access to right now, right? So it's as simple as sending the person an email, reaching out to them on social media, sending them a text, setting up a call, whatever it is. These are people that you can get access to that are on similar levels. They could be a little bit ahead of you in business, maybe a little bit more successful, or maybe they're just a little bit below, and there's something there, and it's worth having another conversation about how can you collaborate, how can you really build a partnership together. And then the third tier is kind of like the secret sauce that I like to tell people is anyone starting out. So when I say anyone starting out, it's basically, think of when you started your business. Think of when, you know, you put all the chips in or you put all your life savings into something and you built whatever it is that your business is. You know, who were the people that helped you, you know, from those early stages? Who were the people that believed in you, that, you know, signed that check or bought that product from you, or, you know, whatever, believed in you? If you look back and think about that, those people that believed in you are probably people that are very loyal to you today, or that you really value as a person or as a customer. So the lower tier people that I like to say is people that are just starting out, is go lend a hand with these new people starting these companies in similar industries. So if you have a product-based business and you're selling it online and you've operated for, say, the last 5 years, but you know of your family friend or your aunt or your uncle or whatever it is that's going to start a business and they're thinking of selling some stuff online, go and offer to help them. Give them some insights, give them some perspectives. And if you can kind of be that person that gives them a little leg up or takes, you know, a step away on that kind of ladder that they got to climb, they're going to be that much more loyal to you. Who are they going to come to? Who are they going to support? Who are they going to value? And that's going to be you, right? So I like to call that lower tier kind of like that secret sauce, because a lot of times when we're working inside of our businesses too much as operators and entrepreneurs, sometimes we can lose hindsight of, you know, there are others out there that are in various similar industries as us that are doing similar things that, you know, you could give a leg up or give some advice or give some perspective to. And I think that's super, super valuable and shouldn't be overlooked. Okay. So now step one, you've identified some gaps, you've identified some opportunities, you've identified your assets. So now you have some ideas of, okay, like I have these 5 companies or these 2 people or these various I have these assets in my business that I can start leveraging that I'm not leveraging enough. How do I secure these partnerships? So something that I like to tell business owners and just entrepreneurs looking to scale their business is, where do your top 15 hang out? Okay. And this is what you should be doing as a business already, instead of kind of trying to blanket yourself all over the place. Is there's a lot of the times when I'm advising with business owners is they're starting to look and create a presence online, and they have, say, a health and wellness company, but, you know, they're starting to like invest more time into LinkedIn because they think, hey, I got to be on 5 different platforms at once. And one of the best things that I like to say is go to where your customers, your prospects are hanging out. Okay. So if you have a health or wellness type of company, you know, Instagram is very, very valuable, because there's lots of people that are, you know, posting daily videos of, you know, what they're eating or their workouts or, you know, tips and strategies and doing lives, and Instagram is just that place to be. So when I say, where do your top 15 hang out, go follow on them, go follow them on their platforms, join those groups that they're a part of. How can you build that relationship with them? How can you go and comment on their stuff, share their stuff, be a supporter, just be someone of value first. That's how you kind of build that connection with those brands and with those people and with those companies. So just really go and be engaging. Okay. And then the second tip with securing is developing an outreach strategy to connect and provide value to them. So I've been able to build some relationships with some really great people and companies and brands in various industries and, you know, at the top of their fields. And I still have these people in my network and in my Rolodex today. And I've been someone that's put in my time with them, and I've provided value time and time again with them, that I know that if I needed a connection to this company, or if I needed an into here, or if I needed something to there, it can happen because they've already established and kind of paved that path. But I didn't go in with my agenda on day one, or within that first week, or within those, you know, first months of building that connection with them, right? I saw that long-term future, and I saw what that relationship could bring me in my business. And you need to think about how one relationship for you and your business could mean multiple 6 figures, multiple 7 figures over the course of, say, 6 months, 12 months, or years. It could be the lifetime of your business. That one relationship with that one person or brand could be massive. So that's where you have to see that long-term potential and don't just go in with your agenda right away from day one. You need to build that connection, build a genuine connection with them and build that relationship. And one of the best ways of doing that is providing value. Okay. So helping them, offering to help for free, just connecting with them, sharing their stuff, just really just getting on their radar, but not jumping in there in the DMs right away and trying to, hey, promote my product. But it's like, no, instead just get on their radar, feel it out a little bit first. Okay. And that's where the last kind of point here that I have is the key is in building the relationship, right? So just think of that long-term future, what that one relationship with that brand or that association with that brand, could mean for your business. You have a clothing company. Imagine if you were able to launch a product line with Lululemon or with Nike, right? You're not going to go in on day one and say, hey, I want to launch a product with you. You're going to develop that connection with them. You're going to build value. You're going to find the ways into that company, build genuine connections with the managers, with the, the product people, with so-and-so. And then, maybe you're sitting at lunch one time, a few months in, and hey, like, I have this idea for this new product line that I think would be really great for you guys. Like, do you have time that, I could pitch you just for 5 minutes, or, could I give you kind of like the, the vision that I have? And then go in for the ask. Okay. So these are really, really great ways to just kind of build that connection. But just if you get anything out of this, when it comes to securing partnerships and the profitable partnerships, they take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And it's all about providing value first. Okay.
Clinton, it just, as you described that, it does strike me as such a key important piece. And it makes me think a little bit about how some of the clients we work with at Business Link, it's kind of one of the common things to say we identify as people who, with their businesses as a whole, kind of have that vision for what they think it's going to be, when sometimes not a lot of conception of the steps that it's going to take to get there, or kind of those little steps along the way to that full vision. It sounds like what you're describing is it's kind of a similar approach to relationships. Does that sound accurate? Like there's all this kind of work you have to put in before it culminates in what you expect it to be.
Totally. I think the most profitable partnerships for you, for your business, are going to be the ones that take a little bit of time. And you just got to think about, even if you look at it on a personal level, right? For even if you're going to say date someone or you're interested in someone, it's about taking that time with that person and getting to know them, providing value and see what their value they have to you and you have to them, and seeing what that connection is like first before going all in. And one thing that I will speak to just with partnerships, because maybe I just so everyone is clear, is when I say partnerships, I'm not talking like a formal business partnership. I need my business signs legal documents with this one, and we're going into this big, massive legal arrangement. That is a type of a business structure you can have for sure. But in my eyes, partnerships can be something that you can test the waters on first, right? And then as you kind of move on and as you expand and get into things, yes, then the legal framework has to come in and contracts and, formal structures and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of the time, these partnerships, these collaborations can be done just through a founder, an entrepreneur, and they can be, they can basically be created in a shorter amount of time versus I got to go through all these hurdles and stuff, because I've heard horror stories of people where, hey, we're going to do this partnership, and they went into this business partnership with somebody and it just didn't work out. And then it's a whole other ball game. So I just wanted to make sure that because when in business in general, when you hear partnerships, sometimes you always think business partnership, I have to, start this new business with this company, but it could be a relationship between your company that you already have and another company. And, it could be just in a simple document. It could be through verbal, just through email, whatever it is. But that's why I always like to, and you'll see as I get into some of the examples here, is basically seeing kind of some of those easy ways to develop these partnerships and to strike up some of these partnerships. So I thank you for bringing that up, Mark. Okay, so last, just to kind of build on this exercise as well. So go to where your prospects, your customers, your followers, your people that you want to sell to or make money from that buy your product or buy your service, go to where they hang out. LinkedIn, Facebook groups, Pinterest, Instagram, local groups, associations. Don't sell yourself too short and think I have to be on all of them because all my people are in all of them. Because most businesses don't have people unless you're this big, massive conglomerate, then sure, you're going to want to be on all those, but you're going to have a massive team behind you. But if you're a small and scrappy startup company, you know, have a few employees, whatever it is, focus on one or two networks, focus on one or two areas that are on here, and just get really, really good at those. And when you get really, really good at those and you have leads and you have sales coming in, then you can expand to other platforms. But don't think that you have to be on everything from day one, because it's just gonna create more work for you, and it's gonna be super, super hard to keep up. Okay, so step 3 is leveraging. Okay, so with this step, this is about, okay, you've identified a partnership, you've secured the partnership, you've decided to launch a product together, you've launched it, you're going to do a live event together, you're going to collaborate on something together with this company. So now it's about leveraging. Okay, so the best way that I like to tell people is you need to make sure that it's a win-win scenario for your partner, right? So it's, you have something of value to them, and they have something of value to you. And when you put your heads together, your resources, your assets, you can do something bigger and better than just you yourself or your business alone could do. So make sure it's a win-win scenario for your partner. And then when it comes to leveraging, make sure that you aren't shooting for the moon right away. Okay, you're not thinking too far ahead. You're starting small, and you know that in time you can continue to grow and build that partnership. So just remember, partnerships, long-term relationships, it's okay, how can I start with this? And then maybe next time we do this, and maybe we do this. And so start small and then grow. Okay. And then once you solidify, start leveraging. Okay. This is one of the best tips for this step that I like to say is, when you announce a new partnership, or say you have a product, okay, and here's an example of a partnership. Essentially, you have a product-based company, you just got it into a new store, okay? You should be announcing that on social media. You should be creating a specific post on Instagram. You should be creating a specific post on Facebook. You should be writing about it on your company blog. You should do a live stream announcing this new partnership. Draw exposure to it. Don't just think everyone's going to know that your business suddenly is in, you know, Remedy Cafe, when they would just have to show up and see that it's there. Put it out there. There's so much noise out there that if you don't tell your customers, your prospects, or people that are following you, you know, what's going on with you, they're not going to know, right? And that's going to drive more awareness. And one of the greatest things is with partnerships is association creates curiosity, is what I like to say. So if so-and-so sees that, hey, you got into this restaurant, or hey, I saw that you got into this store, or I saw that you're collaborating with so-and-so, it creates curiosity, because you're going to see people are going to start reaching out to you. Because I've experienced this myself with companies and brands that I've secured partnerships for. Is they're going to be like, oh, you're doing this with this person. Oh, cool. Wow. I saw you got into here. It's going to create more curiosity for you. And that's going to drive more awareness, more leads for your business, and ultimately leading into more sales. So a little kind of mindset moment here is think about for a second, like, what if your business was associated in some way to these brands? Okay, like Inc. 500, Fortune 500, Cisco, WebEx, the World Economic Forum, United Nations, professional athletes, celebrities, Virgin, Lululemon, Nike, all these top tier. Like, just what if your business was associated with that? Or maybe it's certain types of people that you look up to in your industry, or your just people that you look up to maybe as a mentor. What if your business was associated in some way, right? Like, that could be game changing for you and your business. And that is why partnerships are so important and crucial for you. And with a lot of these on here, I've had the pleasure of either doing partnerships with myself, or I have someone before. I've been to the United Nations headquarters on events twice before. I've secured partnerships with the World Economic Forum. I have tons of Inc. 500 entrepreneurs and companies in my network, and have just been able to really build and grow this great network, you know, over the last 10 years of just building and growing businesses. So just think of how powerful that partnership would be for you if you could be associated with, you know, these types of people and these types of brands. It's game changing for your business. Okay, so the last step is maintaining. Okay. So one of the things that I like to say is, okay, you identified a partner, you secured that partner, you started to leverage and tell people and customers about this partnership. And now it's about, like, how do I keep that partner? It's the same thing as a customer, right? It's more affordable for you as a business to keep a customer than go out and find a new one. So it's the same thing as a partner, right? You gotta make them happy. Do whatever you can to keep them, and go bigger. Say thanks. Everyone here is mostly Canadian, right? We like to say thank you. We like to say sorry. We like to, all those things, right? So there's nothing wrong with saying thank you. Send them a thank you card, send them a gift, send them something special, something that's small that, is that they'll remember. Set yourself apart from other people or from other businesses, maybe that they've collaborated with before or they partnered with before. And then the other thing is just the top point here, is when I say be a friend, not a fan. If you're ever, like collaborating or in business, say with a public figure, someone that's a celebrity, an influencer, somebody that has a big following, or someone that you really look up to that you think is just, on a whole other level, the best thing that I like to tell people is you want to work to be a friend with that person, not a fan. Okay. So if you ever think that, meeting Richard Branson one day, you see him and, oh, I'm going to take a picture with him right away because he's just someone I look up to. When the way that I view that relationship, when I meet Richard Branson, I want to build a friendship with you so we can go into business one day, versus me just going and taking that picture so I can show that to my friends. One, that's great. I would rather be sitting with you in 5 years or in 2 years, building a business or growing a business or talking about a partnership or a collaboration with that person, versus thinking I need to have that picture, taken. So that's something that I like to stress to people, because a lot of the times we can get starstruck and we can kind of get ahead of ourselves, but I would rather be that friend with that public figure versus, being a fan. So remember, it's easier to keep a current client or partner than go find a new one. So do whatever in your power to keep them happy. Okay. Just like a customer, whatever you can, just keep them happy. So I'm going to go into a few partnership examples and some case studies to just give you guys some idea and get those creative juices flowing. And hopefully you have some ideas and things that are already, starting to pop up, and hopefully some things in your immediate network that you're like, man, I overlooked this, or like, this is such a great time to collaborate. And that's what I want to tell you guys right now with everyone at home, all this COVID stuff, all this pandemic stuff. It's a great time to collaborate with another business. Business owners need to collaborate with other business owners. So it's a great time to strike up partnerships, right? Nobody is, for the most part, thriving on a whole other level that the whole world is in a state of, shock essentially. So it's a great time to start leveraging some of those unused assets that you have with other companies and other entrepreneurs and other founders. And how can you do something together? So at the end of this, you're doing better than you were before because you chose to pursue partnerships and pursue collaborations.
So
okay.
Clinton, maybe just really quickly before jumping right into the case studies, we do have a question from Rebecca here, just asking, what do you suggest for value? And I think I'm understanding she means kind of between your steps 1 and 2 there. I really liked some of that outside the box thinking that you were kind of describing of making a more holistic accounting of your assets, and the kitchen, the idea of like a restaurant that has a kitchen, kind of leveraging that could be, maybe if you want to just elaborate or reiterate some of those points there, and maybe they'll come out in the examples as well. But I just wanted to share that. Rebecca.
Yeah, and one thing that I will say, I just saw that right now, I just pulled up the chat, Rebecca, even if you want, what is your service business? Like, can you tell me, are you a chiropractor? Are you a restaurant? Or what is your service-based business? Because when I say, what do I suggest for value? Basically, how can you build that connection with that person or with that business or with that brand? And what I like to say that is, how do you get on their radar? Okay. And you don't get on someone's radar by saying, buy this or buy that, or I have this, you need this. It's instead, hey, like, oh, I love what you're doing. Educational child care center. Okay. So what I would be doing is, how can you be getting yourself and your business in front of, say, other parents? Your parents are going to be the ones that are going to be essentially paying for their kids to be into these childcare centers, whatever it is that you're teaching them on, right? So how can you build more genuine connections with more parents and provide value to them? It's basically just being yourself. How can you be a good, genuine person and build connections with them and provide value to them? How can you help them? How can you understand them? How can you listen to them and see what they need? And how can your service help them with that? So with yours, I'm guessing you obviously help busy parents, get some free time, because you're essentially looking after, their kids, say, for an hour or two, or teaching them something. So I would be finding ways to provide value to those parents, because they're going to be the decision makers. It's not the kids. So the kids aren't really making decisions unless it's like, higher age teenagers, then they might be making those decisions. But I would be providing value by connecting with my ideal parents, my ideal clients on social networks. And in your case, it's a very personal basis. Personal branding is huge. If you're the face of the business, you need to be building those connections with people, so people want to come and put their kids in your childcare center. They want their kids to come and learn from you because it's going to help them with XYZ. But personal branding, I think, would be super, super important for you. So hopefully that makes sense. Your business is health and wellness. Wes, obviously that's in terms of providing value. It's one thing, say if you have a product in health and wellness, it could be offering a free trial. It could be offering a free product. It could be, how could you donate something, say, to this gym? Or how can you think outside the box, think creatively? How could I, invest some time, maybe some money, some product? What do I have as an asset that's sitting there that could be leveraged, that could turn into more revenue and more money for me and my business? And so there could be a lot of areas there, but I'm happy as we get farther along in the presentation, Wes, if we can elaborate, and I can, because health and wellness is obviously a very, very wide industry, but I would be happy to chat a little bit further on that. So I'll get into some of these kind of partnership examples and case studies to give you guys an idea of some cool ones that I've come across over the last few months. So I came across one. I got an email, I think an email, or I saw it on social media. And so Xbox partnered with Spotify, EA, and Discord. So I'm not a huge gamer myself. I know I like to game once in a while, but in terms of the partnership that they put up, it was really, really smart. And why it was really, really smart is what they were offering, okay? Is all these 4 big companies came together and they said, we're gonna offer, I think it was 3 months of Xbox Access Live, Spotify Premium for like 3 months, EA gaming online service for a month, and then Discord something for a month, for $1. Okay, they were offering it for $1 for, you got Spotify, I think, for 3, and then the other 3 were just for 1 month. So you got all these packages, all these different services that just all are technically basically going after the same similar type of people. Because if you play Xbox, you're probably going to want to play EA, or if you listen to music, you're listening. So it's all companies that are related to each other in some shape or form, and they partnered and offered this irresistible offer at $1. Okay, think of how many people bought that $1. Say if they sold 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 people. Okay, so they made $100,000, say, for the first 3 months. But how many people are going to one up and continue to buy their monthly services at the end of the partnership, right? Even if they closed 1%, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars on a monthly recurring basis. So how could you apply this to yourself in your own business? Who in your immediate network or connections or associations or people that have a product that could be bundled with yours? How could you create like an irresistible offer? It doesn't matter if it's a product, if it's a service, if you sell it online, if you sell it in stores. How could you create something with another company that would just be absolutely a no-brainer for your customers already and their customers, and you guys both promote it and you both co-market it together? And then after that, have a plan for how you're going to upsell them into, say, your new program or your other new products or a higher priced products, because just think of what that could do. So that was a really cool and creative approach to a partnership that I came across. And then another one is Amex and McDonald's. So Amex, I'm an Amex member, so I got an email saying, oh, if you spend, and I think I have a few more of these right now with a bunch of other companies. If you spend $10 on your Amex card right now, minimum $10, we're going to give you a $5 statement credit for basically spending $10. So go spend $10 at McDonald's and Amex is going to basically give you $5 back for free. When it's like, that's a no-brainer, right? Like that's basically like, well, why wouldn't I go do that as a customer, as a person, as a business, right? Like that's like, it's an absolutely no-brainer. So in your sense, for people that are listening to this and to watching this, is how could you create an irresistible offer as well that would bring in more leads and more sales for your business right now? And how could you collaborate with another business in similar shapes and forms of this. I'm not saying everyone is a fast food business or a restaurant. I just wanted to kind of give you a few ideas of some possibilities that are out there. So hopefully that gets your, you know, creative juices flowing, and seeing what other companies are doing for types of partnerships. So here's one that I wanted to kind of provide a little bit of a case study to. So say you're a yoga studio, and I actually did this for a yoga studio, a friend of mine that owns a yoga studio. I did kind of like just basically analysis of their business. And this is just kind of from the outside. I didn't know a lot of what was going on the inside, but this is just me taking a look at online, social media, their website and everything. So assets I saw, they had a great brand. They have a strong community. With diverse class offerings. With one of the great things that this yoga studio did is they weren't just a yoga studio. They were offering bar classes. They were offering Pilates classes. And I thought that was really, really smart, because then you're not catering exactly to just yogis, because there's a lot of yoga studios out there. So how could you offer something different that, okay, because some of your members and customers might want to do bar twice a week and do yoga 3 times and, you know, mix in a Pilates once a month. So it's a cool offering. So those are assets that business had. The gaps that I saw was empty time slots in the schedule. So when I looked online, I saw they have a physical place that they were obviously paying rent on, and there was no classes on 2 or 3 of the days of the week from, I think, about 10 in the morning till about 4 or 5 at night. So basically they're paying for this store or this place for their business. And they're paying thousands of dollars each month, and there's nobody using their studio for 6-7 hours a day. So that's a gap, because as a business and you have a physical place, you want people in there as much as possible. How can I maximize this? I'm already paying for it. How can I make money on this versus losing money? So opportunities I see is offering new services, new classes, holding events, renting out the space. Maybe there's mindfulness teachers that they could rent out the space to, because they have a really great studio and a really great place that, you know, maybe there's mindfulness teachers or coaches or something out there that would just love to rent out this space and, you know, maybe do a class from, or maybe they're recording a course or something. But how could they maximize some of that time that they had? And this is just one idea of a partnership that I had for them. And then basically the kind of big kicker was, how can you expand the audience outside Edmonton? Is basically what I said. Is like, it's great that you have a physical storefront studio, but how could you expand that and create something that's online? How could you create something that reaches customers all over the world through a course, through a program, through some sort of service as a yoga studio, that doesn't rely just solely on people in Edmonton coming in through your studio? Okay, so that's one. Next case study was a tea company. So basically, assets I saw, they had great branding, and one of the best ones that I've seen in a while that was actually already pursuing partnerships. So it was actually really cool. I went and looked at their Instagram, and they were announcing basically every new store that they were getting their tea brand into, which I thought was really smart. And I was like, man, like, there's not enough companies that are doing this. So I was really impressed with how they were already doing that and announcing their partnerships. And that's something that I want everyone, you know, watching and listening to this right now, is make sure you're announcing your partnerships. Like I said, blogs, live streams, social media posts, all that stuff. Contacting local media, even if it's a big enough partnership, think about that in a sense too. So some of the gaps that I found with them, they had a good brand, a great company, but I couldn't find a community. And one thing that I found was opportunities is basically offering like a tea club, like with partners. Maybe there's some kind of tea club or tea kind of membership that they could offer to people, where you get a tea every month or every quarter, you get a package of tea with all these other corresponding products or something. But I didn't see a community aspect, which building a community around your business is super, super important. And it's even more important to have a diverse community that isn't just solely located on one location, because then if a certain economy gets hit or a certain city gets hit with something, you're not as directly affected as other businesses that have decided to diversify, their revenue streams and their types of customers. So next is a software company. Basically, some of the assets they had is they help airlines save time and efficiency. They basically had a piece of software that got rid of a physical airline pilot has to mark this, mark that, instead of physically doing it on a piece of paper and then handing it to, one of the gate agents and then taking it to this and that. It's like actually go on my iPad or say go on my phone, mobile app, and actually being able to do it. So it really makes things more accurate, more secure, less mistakes, of course, because you can't mark something out or white something out. Or so it was really, really great and revolutionary because it's just creating that physical kind of process and putting it online. So the gaps I saw was there's no adoption or awareness. And if you have like a product or service that is directly like this, that's going to help and work with airline pilots for airline companies, the opportunities is partnerships. Is how can I build a relationship with people at Edmonton International Airport? There's a association around the world called Smart Airports Association. So it's all these airports around the world that are already spending money into innovation and expanding what they're offering at these different airports. So they're already focused on technology and innovation. So they're more likely to adopt something that's more newer age than some other airport or company that hasn't, right? So these are some examples and some opportunities I saw for them to pursue, and basically goes back to my earlier point of go to where your customers are, right? Go to where they are, find those partnerships and those collaborations with where your customers are, okay? So here's a few examples of partnership examples that everyone on here you could start pursuing right now. And whether it's people in your top 5, your peer 5, your lower 5, whatever it is. So bringing on advisors is actually a partnership example. So there's a lot of really great people with great knowledge, 10, 20, 30, 40 years of experience in certain industries. You could bring them on as advisors for your company. And they already have those connections. They've already bridged the gap. They've already built something in your industry, and they can open up a heck of a lot of doors for you versus you trying to knock down every door yourself. So that's a really great example. You can sometimes compensate through equity in your business. It could be free. Maybe they just want to give back to their community and help an entrepreneur, a small business owner. There's everything from retainers. There's lots of different ways to bring on advisors. You don't think that it has to be that you have to pay an advisor to come on and help your business, because there's a lot of people out there that just want to help more businesses. You can launch events together, online, in person. How can you physically work together to build something together and launch something together versus just you putting on an event together? How can you both take on the risk? How can you both take on the responsibilities? How can you both do it so they do 50% of it, you do 50% of it, so it's not 100% you and your team, right? So launching events, launching products together. Maybe there's a bundle of products that you want to put together or that you're starting to think about now that this presentation is going to help you with. So it could be another company or brand that you know of that you want to start a conversation with now and saying, hey, like I want to put together like this really special summer product bundle that I think your product would go really great with what we're already doing. So why don't we do something together? You guys market it, I market it, and we split the profits 50-50, whatever it is, and we both grow together, right? So that's another possibility. Co-promoting brands. You promote mine, I'll promote yours. Let's help each other expand new audiences, grow our sales. JVs and affiliates. You could have affiliate type programs where you're paying other people a percentage for selling your product for you. And then a lead magnet swap is maybe you have something of service to others or something that's valuable. Maybe you have an ebook, maybe you have a guide online, some sort of a lead magnet that you're using to generate interest online. How could you swap it with somebody where you promote theirs, they promote theirs to their audiences, you guys share in the new opt-ins, and you use those to generate more leads for your business, and then you market and sell to those with your products and services, okay? So remember, partnerships can be free, they can be paid, they can be both. Okay, there's lots of different ways that you can look at partnerships and the way that you can structure them. Ones that I would look at right now because of COVID is co-branding and marketing together. I think there's no better time right now than just to collaborate with another brand in your industry, maybe in your neighborhood, someone that you look up to or you build connections with, whatever it is. Like, hey, how can you combine forces and co-brand something and market something together where you both profit from it? Another one is not technical. Find a tech company. Everything's online now. If you're a physical store and you're not selling anything online, go partner with someone that's an expert at Shopify. Go partner with someone that knows how to build stuff online or knows how to sell stuff online. Okay, that's super, super important because you started to realize, like, if I'm only relying on people physically walking through my door, it's, you know, sometimes hard to grow and scale my business. So I need to have other products and services that anyone can purchase by just directly going online or finding my business, you know, through my website. So one great thing to think about is think, how much could a partnership bring you over the lifetime of your business, right? How much could that one partnership bring you, right? How much is that lifetime value of that partnership or that new customer that has access to this audience or this big group or this Facebook group that has your ideal people that just want to buy your product? How much could that partnership bring you over the, you know, lifetime of your business? Okay, if anybody wants help implementing partnership strategy, this is my calendar link that if you want to book a, you know, just free strategy call, more than happy to help and to see if there's anything that I can help anybody with or expand on some of the stuff that I've talked about, and hopefully gets your minds going about partnerships now. And then, or visit businesslink.ca. And I wanted to just say thank you for allowing me to present to you guys today on partnerships. Hopefully this has opened your eyes a little bit, made you realize partnerships are important, and some ways that you can start building value with others and really putting that long-term, you know, vision into your business so you continue to build and grow it. If you want to send me an email, feel free to send me an email, or if you want to connect with me on social media, I'm on any and all platforms. And these are my two boys, twin boys. I just like to kind of end off with a cute little slide because they're a lot cuter than I am. So it's a good way to end it off. But thank you so much, everyone, and I appreciate it. And I'll hand it back over to Mark.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Clinton. We had, you know, a handful of questions there that all felt like, you know, might be really good for them to reach out to you like you've offered here, which is very generous offer. I encourage you all to take up Clinton on connecting with him to talk a bit more specifically about some of your businesses. I don't know if you had a chance to maybe do one question though, which I found kind of interesting from Elizabeth, was asking for suggestions about business, like when your customers are other businesses, business to business sales. And I'm just wondering, maybe I'll rephrase that a little bit and say, do you feel like there's anything that you would kind of suggest adjusting depending on with your strategy for acquiring partnerships, depending on who your customer is, or is it really pretty, you know, universal, I suppose?
Yeah. So can you just kind of reframe the question? So you mean like with business to business type of partnerships, like just what exactly was that again?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look through the questions while you're.
So if you're a business that sells to other businesses,
Okay.
would that sort of spark any kind of particular consideration when seeking partnerships generally, or is it just pretty universal advice? It seems pretty universal to me, but maybe you have some idea about a particular sensibility for it.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I think honestly, I think I don't think there's one size fits all, honestly, right? It's just like any industry, every industry is different. People are different in different industries as well. But I also think that you just have to look at a partnership as something that you need to start small. And don't think too massively off the start. Yes, have that vision for it later, but it doesn't mean you have to communicate that to that partner right now. But it's just like any type of relationship that you're starting. You need to walk before you run. So just do something that's lower hanging fruit, something that's easier to pull off that you can over deliver on, and then continue to build and expand from that. So I think that's kind of like a rule of thumb, no matter what industry you're in. But I wouldn't say that there's one size fits all for every partnership or every relationship, because you could get some partnerships and relationships that you just click with someone right away, right? And you just gel and you as a founder and they as a founder, just like, boom, like we're going to collaborate and do something. And they're just like so excited, and you could launch something in a day or two. But when there's others, you know, sometimes you're going to have to put some time into it, and, you know, it could take a couple weeks or it could take a couple months, but don't get discouraged. That's why it's always good to kind of have different partnerships with different people at different times, and always just kind of keeping that a part of your marketing and sales strategy, because I think it's important to have a marketing and sales strategy, but you need to have a partnership strategy as well. And they all need to be talking to each other, because that's just really going to fuel and help build and grow your business.
Wonderful. No, that's really great, Clinton. I think that was sort of the only question that I grabbed there, and we are kind of come up right at the top of the hour now. So, yeah, we've been getting lots of great feedback in the chat. So we definitely want to thank you very much for sharing with us, and thank all of you who joined the webinar today. If you'd like to contact Business Link, of course, you can email us at askus@businesslink or call the 1-800 number you see on the screen there. And just a reminder that yeah, you can certainly reach out to Clinton as well. If you're looking for one-on-one advice, would like to sign up for our newsletter at Business Link, connect with us on social media, chat with us online, stay informed about upcoming other webinars, workshops, and all kinds of other great stuff, you can visit businesslink.ca. You will be receiving an email following this webinar with a link to a post-webinar survey, and we'd really love for you to take a couple minutes to complete that. It helps us make sure that we're always being the best we can be. So yeah, finally, one last moment to thank you one more time, Clinton. Yeah, really great stuff today, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And like I said, just happy to help. And yeah, just everyone have a great day, and hope to be in touch with you guys all soon.
All right, yes, take care. Bye for now.